Today's going to be a quick video on how to edit real estate interior photos. The first example, pretty basic. There's 5 stop of exposure. My camera's the Canon 5D Mark III. You can set it so it can take 5 different exposure automatically. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to select all 5, and then we're going to right click, and then we're going to go to Photomerge HDR. Once you do that, it will merge all 5 exposure and it'll give you a 6th photo as the result right there. So what we can do with that, once we get to this point, we can crop it and make sure the verticals are straight, and then do the white balance. The transform upright tool right here, and what you can do is select something along the edge of the frame that's, you know, it's going to be vertical, which is the wall, and then on the other side of the frame we're going to do this window, because the further to the edge the more accurate it's going to be. The other option is you could click vertical here, but sometimes that's not as accurate, so I like to use the upright tools instead. The window's a little too bright here, so I would lower the highlights, lower the white, and then what you can do now is you can add some clarity and add texture and a little bit more contrast, and you can recrop so this little thing's not there. There you go. Quick and easy. You can definitely refine it with the other exposure, so you can bring back the windows, but this is just the gist of how to do it. And for white balance, what we can do is we can hit this white balance tool, and we can hit the click on any of the white part. We know this is white, so it gives us a better, more accurate image of the space. Hitting it up here gives us a slightly different result. Whichever one you do choose, you're gonna have to eye it and make sure the rest of the photos are similar. All right, example number 2. Once again, 5 exposure. So let's go for this one. We're not going to use all 5 exposure. We're just going to use 3. So let's pick the middle 3. This one's too dark, and then this one's too bright. It's usable in some parts, but let's just say we go with 3. Right click, Photomerge HDR. So from there, we're just going to do exactly what we did before. We can bring up the exposure just like that, and then bring down some of the highlights, bring up some of the shadows, bring in the contrast, and then bring the clarity and texture. Typically this is the HDR look you see in listing photos. For real estate, it's pretty standard right there, and you can use the white balance tool, hit on the part that's white. We know the ceiling's white, and or you can click on a few spots and see what kind of results you'll get. So let's say you click here and it's white balance, but it's a little too cold. You can slide the temperature slider back just a tad, and you're good to go. Don't forget to use this tool to make sure all those lines are accurate and vertical. So let's use this door here to here. We know that's straight, and then we'll use this corner here of this fridge. We'll follow this dark line all the way down. Boom. So that's that. And if you want to crop in a little bit, you can, but I'm just going to do just a tad right there to show most of the room. And you could spend, you know, longer in here depending on the job, but for listing photos, this is basically what they need. So you could do HDR with 2 photos as well. Here's an example of that. So this one is an overexposed photos of this room. We need that because of this section here, and then we have an underexposed to get the windows. So right click those two, Photomerge HDR, and then just leave everything as is, and then the results is like so, which is not bad at all. So that's with 2 exposure there, and then you can tweak it to your needs. We can bring up the shadow just a tad, and then crank up the contrast, texture, clarity. Maybe not that much. There we go. And there you go, your HDR look. And then remember, you can use the tool, find a neutral gray or white. So, and then you can dial it in manually yourself as you see fit. You could use a gray card if you're there in person, but I find that take a little longer. So depending on the gig, listing photos, you can get away with this. And then of course, make sure your upright tool will use the edge of this TV, and then we'll use the edge of this bed right there, this line. Done. So now we know it's vertical, and you can crop just a little bit. Well, that's it for today. Next time I'll do a video on flash ambient.